Alright, so what's going on, guys? Just like I said in yesterday's video, we are going to be working on this here Toyota Tacoma. If it'll focus. There we go. So basically what we're doing is a customer of mine picked this Toyota Tacoma up. It is actually in super good shape. The frame is amazing. I think it's still got, I don't know if you can see that, but it's still got the barcode on it right there, which is usually indicative of the frame having been replaced under warranty, which is what they did with these Tacomas. If you guys aren't familiar with these, Toyota issued a recall a bunch of years ago for the frames on these Tacomas. The frames will rot out and literally break in half and everything else. So Toyota was doing one of two things. They were either giving you full, fair market value for the vehicle and taking it back, or you could opt to have them replace the entire frame. So I think this one might have had that done. Now, this one subsequently has been, let me fix my Joby. I feel like I'm way too close to you guys. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so what we're doing with this one is he lifted it. Some of the front end parts are a little bit worn out, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace pretty much everything in the front end. We're installing adjustable upper control arms. We're doing new upper and lower ball joints. We're doing all the lower control arm bushings. Just everything basically in the front end. These also have another issue that we're going to be taking care of, which there is a needle bearing that supports the axle shaft on the driver's side that's in the differential itself. We're going to replace that needle bearing with an actual, is there a smudge on this lens? No. We're going to replace the needle bearing with an actual sleeve, like a brass sleeve, so it takes up the slop of the needle bearing, which will help with vibrations because of the lift and everything else. There's a small hole in the bed that we're actually going to patch. There is an evap leak that we have to chase down. So we're going to be doing a ton of work on this. It's probably going to take a better part of the day. And what I'm planning on doing for you guys is I am going to time-lapse the majority of this job. Now, it's going to make for a super long video if I were to stop and show you every last little thing. But what I'll do is I'll show you, once we get the control arms installed, how they adjust, how they work. I'll show you the new stuff installed. I'll show you the replacement of that bearing with the bushing. And, maybe we'll show you the bed repair. But I'm not going to go through everything. We'll time-lapse the majority of it. I'll bring you guys back when I feel there's something important. So here we go. Enjoy.
We got time, but no money. But there ain't nobody stopping us. We got bills, but no dollars. But now we don't really give up. No, we don't really give up. Living for that ray of light. Life can be beautiful. Life can be beautiful. Going all the way tonight, making it beautiful. Acting like there's no tomorrow. Acting like there's no tomorrow. Acting like there's no tomorrow. Acting like this. Acting like this. there's no tomorrow. Acting like there's no tomorrow. Acting like this, acting like this.
Alright guys, so here's where we're at with the Tacoma. Now, we started on the driver's side because the driver's side is actually going to be the side where we have to do the most work because we have to replace that needle bearing. So when I talk about that, I want to show you guys real quick. Right inside the carrier right there, right here, is a needle bearing. Now this needle bearing is prone to cause wobble in this axle shaft, especially when it's lifted, and will cause a vibration. So what we do is we'll pull this completely out. Once this is out, we're actually going to put, get all this crap off my fingers. We're actually going to put this new sleeve in. Now basically it is just like an oil light bronze bushing that takes the place of that bearing, so when it slides over the axle, it'll slide over it like this, and it maintains a really tight clearance, and you won't get the same wobble effect that you do with the bearing. So this will help significantly. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull that out now. We have this special tool over here that will actually go in there and pull that out. Then we're going to drive this one in. So here we go. Alright guys, so there we go. Let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit so you could actually see it. So that needle bearing is gone, and now you're just left with a bronze bushing and a brand new seal. So now that we have that installed, we can now go to putting in the new upper and lower ball joints, the new upper and lower control arm bushings, and the new upper control arms. We'll get all that stuff together and I'll start putting that back in, and you'll see that time lapse. Alright guys, so here's where we are with this setup. Now, we'll start from the top and we'll work our way down. We got the adjustable upper control arm in. Now this is adjustable for camber as well as caster. By adjusting this lower ball joint, you can see how it's offset. We can actually adjust the caster of this however he wants it to be. So, and also too, by loosening the nut on top, it is slotted up in there. See? And with that slot, you can actually adjust your camber back and forth. So then we got the brand new lower ball joint installed. See if I can get some light on that for you. Brand new lower installed. We got the sleeve replacement for the needle bearing back there on the differential installed. We got the knuckle back on, and we got the new bushings in the lower control arm, as well as new cam bolts for the lower control arm. So we got all that in. Now, unfortunately, here's where we've run into a bit of a dilemma. So in the kit for the cam bolts, it only came with one set. Now we need 2 sets. Unfortunately, we don't have the second set for passenger side, so we can't do the passenger side. Now here's the other unfortunate part about having a small shop. In order to get the control arm bolts out, you have to remove the steering rack. So the steering rack is out. You have to disconnect the sway bar. That's disconnected. There's a bunch of stuff that you have to do, or I have to do, to get into being able to take these control arms off and replace the bushings. So where I'm stuck right now is the fact that I have jobs coming in tomorrow. This thing was an absolute nightmare. The bushings didn't want to come out of the lower control arm. The upper control arm was screwed. The directions for the insert for the upper control arm were completely backwards, so I had to re-engineer those and get that to work. The tool that we were using for the needle bearing replacement was the wrong size, so we had to modify that. It's just a bunch of stuff. So I literally have spent about 10 hours on this one side alone. The wheel bearing was seized in place. We had to remove that. The spacers for the wheel bearing were broken, so we had to remove those. I had to fix the knuckle. The upper ball joint in the knuckle wouldn't come out, so I had to use heat and hammers and presses and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, it's, you know, the truck may look great, but rust is rust, and this is the Northeast, so we're having a blast trying to get this done. So in order to remove half of these bolts for the upper control arm, I had to pull some electrical components out of the engine compartment. To do the lower control arm bolts, you actually have to move the steering rack completely out of the way, so that's unbolted. And now I have to bolt all of this back up, put it all back together so I can pull it out, do my work for tomorrow, wait for the cam bolts for this, pull it back in, tear it all apart again, and do the same thing over again. So, always a fun one. But time lapses, this is probably going to be a long video because the time lapses were long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of doing some, you know, maintenance on a lifted Tacoma in the front end after, you know, 20 years and 100,000 miles. So, yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Enjoy, guys. Have a great night. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're getting there. Almost 10,000. We're at 85 and change. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.